Hi, beautiful people. It's Amy from Savor Salvage and Scent. I hope you're having a great day. I thought today I would share a little bit of information about and celebrate my absolute favorite fragrance, which is this beauty here, Eau de Reglisse by the House of Caron, the French house. I'll just say straight away, I know this might break a few hearts. This is discontinued. It was just discontinued a few years ago. And, but I still feel the need to celebrate it and share information about it because no one ever talks about it. Like, for instance, there's not been one review of this masterpiece on YouTube that I can find. There's a few reviews on Fragrantica. However, just to let you know, you can still pick it up. I think this retailed for about $150. You can still find bottles online between, I would say, $60 and $70. The price is climbing. Just to give you an idea of how much I love this beauty. This is my third bottle since I want to say late, like 2010 kind of time. And you can see here, I have a backup bottle. This is what the packaging looks like. P.S. Some people hate this packaging, but I think it's really cool and modernist. And it protects it. Anyways, okay. But you can still pick this up. But this is when you're a fragrance collector, you don't tend to, or at least I don't tend to have a lot of backup bottles of anything because I have a lot of perfume, so it takes me a long time to go through a bottle. So for me to say that I've been through bottles says a lot for this, and I don't ever want to run out of it. So it's the only thing I have. It's one of 5 I have backups for, and I have 2 backups so that I don't ever run out of it. So let me tell you a little bit about it. Right off the bat, people are going to probably love or hate the idea of it because one of its most prominent notes is licorice or anise. And I love licorice and anise. Among other things, I have a German background, and we tend to love baked goods and things with licorice and anise. Side note, little story. Both my family and my brother-in-law's family, both with German background, sometimes made holiday cookies with anise flavoring. So of course I associate this scent with something like super warm and cozy. Anyway, my brother-in-law and sister for a time worked together, and they brought their holiday cookies in to share with the staff. And on the floor of this retail shop, they shared the cookies, and one of their employees said, "I love anise," in front of everybody. So just an FYI, it's anise. And if you don't know the difference, you need to ask your mom. I can't go further. Anyways, but I love licorice, and this beauty has a really dominant licorice note. I am going to cheat for a minute and use my notes and tell you a little bit more about everything that's in the perfume. I don't have all this memorized, of course. Again, what drew me to the scent was licorice. One of my first loves in fragrance was Lolita Lempicka, which was I think it was released in the 80s or 90s, and it was just so popular. And I loved Lolita Lempicka because at the time it was super groundbreaking and it just had this warmth. And then I realized, oh my gosh, it's licorice or anise. And so this perfume came out in 2006. And though I've loved perfume, oh my gosh, ever since I was really a grown up, I would say, my like obsession and collection, I started really dive into around this time. And I looked online to see what were other scents that really elevated licorice, and this is one that came to the surface. And what I found interesting about it, and what continues to hold my interest, is that I was used to originally licorice scents that were really deep and dark, and I loved those. I mean, I love wearing Lolita Lampica still in all of its flankers. I have so many of their flankers. I just love that perfume. I wear it mostly in the winter, although year round. But they were deeper and darker, had this depth. What I think is really interesting about Eau de Reglisse, or it means of scent of licorice, is that it is a fresh scent with licorice, and that was really new for me and interesting. And because of that, it can really, I find it can hold its own all year. Because of the depth of the licorice, but it really, really shines in warmer months. So I'll talk to you a little bit about the notes. The top notes are mandarin, basil, lemon verbena, and licorice. The middle notes are patchouli, nutmeg, and ginger. And the base notes are musk and vanilla. I'm going to spray a little bit of this on me so I can give you my impression. Okay, so right out of the sprayer, I get lemon, citrus, bright citrus, and licorice. And you can detect a little bit of the basil, and what that really does is, again, it just gives it this like herbal quality. And then it starts to soften a little bit. So instead of just getting that herbal kind of like blast or brightness, it starts to soften, and you get more of the spice. So when they talk about the middle notes, the nutmeg, ginger, I don't know that you can pull those out specifically, but what happens is you just start to get a bit more of a spiciness. And then as the dry down continues to occur, it just softens a bit. And so what I really get from this, and I just love it because it combines so many things that I love, is I love lemony things, whether it's lemon in real life, lemon baked goods, just love it when it's done well. I also love tea, and this to me, not only would I rank this as a phenomenal licorice fragrance, but I think it's a phenomenal tea fragrance. I'll get to this another time, but I find good tea fragrances really hard to find, and this is beautiful. I mean, to me, after a minute or two, the way it just starts to smell is like this amazing cup of tea that happens to have some spiced licorice and lemon in it. It is, oh my gosh, it's just so beautiful. I mean, who's to say why we like what we like, and who's to say why this is my favorite? I think probably because it's, got this complexity for a fresh scent. It's got some favorite elements. But, I find with favorites, it does something for my mood, and I think it probably calls on childhood memories. It's just complex and interesting. You don't smell like everybody else in the room. I would say people who like licorice, people who like tea, and then Clarins made a line of really beautiful kind of freshy fragrances. I forget the name of it. Eau de Masante or something. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of it. Anyways, it is a little similar to this, so I would say if you like that scent, you will probably love this. But I would encourage you to try this if you like tea, if you like lemon and verbena or lemon things, and or if you like licorice. It's just a winner. And I don't know if I mentioned this retailed at like $150, and you can still find bottles for $60 to $70. Let me talk a little bit more about the nose. I don't know a ton about him, but I want to share. His name is Richard. I would hope it's pronounced Fraisse. It's Fraysse. He almost exclusively has designed for House of Caron. By the way, I think the French House of Caron is totally unsung, underappreciated, not talked about enough. I think they frankly have not had a lot on trend recently, and I think that's part of it. I don't care as much about trends maybe as some people. I just like what I like, and I often like vintage things, so it works. But he also designed Yuzu for Men, which was very popular, and Lady Caron, among others. And this is considered it's ranked as a kind of men and women's or gender neutral scent. I think, again, that's crazy. I think you wear what you like. And same with like some of the other things he created, like Yuzu for Man, I think is gorgeous. So anyway, House of Caron is totally, I think, worth exploring. And I would say another benefit to this is just, again, I think that it can straddle seasons and it's really unique. I mean, I just think it's great when you can find something that you love that not everybody wears or talks about. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this review of my favorite scent, Eau de Reglisse. I would love to know from you, do you love or hate licorice in perfumery and or in food? I know people seem to love or hate it. I also wonder, do any of you have any House of Caron scents that you really love? I would love to learn more. I would actually like to get more Caron scents in my collection. I have a few, and the others that I have experienced have been really, really interesting. So I'd love to learn more about them. And lastly, are there any scents in particular that you would like to learn more about or would like me to review? I would love to hear from you and learn from you. So let me know. Hope you have a great night. Thanks. Bye.